Welcome back to the Beyond Invisible Battles podcast. I'm your host, Dagmarie Daniels, life coach and the wife of a battle-tested veteran. In this space, we shine a light on the battles people fight that no one sees, battles that don't end when the workday begins. Today's episode is one that every leader, HR professional, and employee needs to hear. We're talking about the real cost of workplace ignorance on invisible health battles. Because while many workplaces pride themselves on performance, innovation, and productivity, they're bleeding talent, money, and morale because they refuse to acknowledge what's really going on beneath the surface. And let me tell you, the cost isn't just financial, it's personal, cultural, and deeply human. Defining invisible health battles. Before we break down the cost, let's get clear on what we mean by invisible health battles. These are physical, mental, or emotional health conditions that employees live with, but that aren't obvious to the naked eye. They include mental health conditions like anxiety, depression, PTSD, chronic physical illnesses like fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, or autoimmune diseases. Neurological injuries like traumatic brain injury, often common in veterans. Migraines, chronic pain, and severe sleep disorders. Neurodivergence, including ADHD and autism, grief, trauma, and caregiving stress. Now, imagine carrying these battles while trying to meet deadlines, handle workplace politics, and navigate leadership that just sees your output, not your humanity. It's exhausting, it's unsustainable, and yet many workplaces act like these realities don't exist. What workplace ignorance looks like. So, what does ignorance in the workplace actually look like? It's not always blatant, often it's subtle but systemic. Managers dismissing health accommodations as special treatment. Performance reviews that penalize productivity dips without context. Jokes and microaggressions about someone being lazy or unmotivated. HR policies that exist on paper but aren't actively practiced. Leaders hyper-focusing on KPIs without asking about well-being. These behaviors send a clear message. Your health doesn't matter here unless it impacts the bottom line. And for employees battling invisible conditions, that message leads to silence, isolation, and eventually burnout or resignation. My personal lens, a veteran's struggle. I've seen this firsthand. My husband, a proud veteran, lives with PTSD and other mental disorders. When he entered the civilian workforce, no one asked about his needs. No one checked in when his demeanor changed. No one offered flexibility for his medical appointments. Instead, there was impatience, assumptions, judgment. Eventually, he left. And that company, they lost not just a skilled worker, but someone with leadership, problem-solving skills, and resilience forged in combat, all because they failed to see him. And how many others have left silently? How many have broken down quietly in a bathroom stall before pushing through another workday? The business cost of ignorance. Now let's talk numbers, the hard costs. Mental health issues cost U.S. companies up to $210 billion annually. Chronic conditions like pain and fatigue lead to presenteeism, where employees show up but deliver half their potential. Turnover costs can range from 50% to 200% of an employee's salary to replace them. Burned out employees cost companies in morale, customer service quality, and innovation loss. But beyond the financials, there are human costs. Disengagement, lack of psychological safety, stifled creativity because people fear vulnerability. In short, when workplaces ignore invisible health battles, they pay in profits, in people, and in reputation, emotional and cultural impact. But the damage isn't just in dollars. It's in the emotional landscape of a company. Workplaces that ignore these struggles foster toxic culture, where empathy is absent and competition trumps compassion. Fear-based productivity, people perform just enough to survive, not to thrive. Exclusion, especially for veterans, minorities, and differently abled employees who already face societal stigmas. Without a culture of understanding, your best people either burn out or check out. And let me say this, if your culture demands people mask their pain to keep their job, it's not a healthy culture, period. Solutions, how companies can wake up. So what's the way forward? Here's what forward-thinking companies are doing and what you can advocate for. 1. Mandatory mental health and trauma-informed training for leadership. Educate managers on recognizing signs of invisible battles and responding empathetically. 2. Develop clear health accommodation policies and communicate them often. Don't make employees hunt for their rights. 3. Flexible work options. Remote work, hybrid models, flexible scheduling. They aren't perks, they're lifelines. 4. Normalize health conversations. Regular check ins should include how are you really? 5. Create safe spaces and support networks. Peer support groups, mental health champions, and anonymous feedback channels. 6. Measure psychological safety alongside productivity. If people aren't speaking up or offering new ideas, your culture isn't safe. Remember, these changes don't just protect employees, they protect your business. A word to employees. And to the employees listening who are carrying invisible battles, I want you to know your struggle is valid. Your health is not a liability. Seek support where you can. Document your needs. Advocate for accommodations. You deserve them. But most importantly, don't let a workplace define your worth. A good company will value the whole person, not just their output. As we close, I want to leave you with this. Workplace ignorance is expensive, but awareness is priceless. If you're a leader, it's time to lead differently. If you're in HR, rewrite the playbook with empathy. If you're an employee, share this episode with your team, your manager, your network. And if you want help creating a trauma-informed, empathy-driven workplace, connect with me through the Beyond Invisible Battles movement. We're building a future where invisible doesn't mean ignored. Thank you for joining me. I'm Dagmary Daniels. Stay visible, stay valued.